Royal finances, what do they truly cost? And why is it really the advantage of many to make out that they're simply higher than they truly are? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. As ever, lovely to see you today. Welcome one and all brand new subscribers. Yes, keep on rising, all thanks to you. Truly thank you for taking the time to give me some of your time to share with me every single day. So glad that you're enjoying the channel, and truly I really enjoy making it for you. Also, I do love, as I say, many of your comments, and for those of you that remember the itsy witsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini, can't remembered all that, you know. Well, no, that's not bad, is it, this time of day? But if you remember that track, of course, first by Brian Hyland, and then, of course, by the children's TV presenter Timmy Mallet, then, yes, I hate to say it, but you might be older than you look. I know, that's the frightening thing, isn't it, with songs? You can remember lyrics and everything. Suddenly, you know, can't remember whether you put the milk out or the bottles out or what, you know, what are we like, eh? But there's one thing we are very sure about here on this channel is your exclusive royal news. And as I often say here on the show, we bring you it with impartiality. We tell you the both sides of the story. And this particular story really got on my nerves, to be honest, because it all centres upon royal finances. And one in particular journalist, who shall remain nameless, likes to really stoke the fire. It already centred on the fact that they were claiming that we, the British taxpayer, should reinstate the security of Harry and Meghan before it's too late. Well, I really don't understand that, and clearly because they're not necessarily from this country, they don't understand it in fullness either. Because this really was all centred around the now disgraced, of course, Prince Andrew, His Royal Highness, the Duke of York, basically claiming that it cost over £400,000 a year for his personal security. Now, you know, I've spoken and interviewed many of the royal protection officers within the royal household, and they tell me exactly how the costs are put together. Now, on a big tour, for instance, like Kate and William, when they went to the Caribbean, obviously that's more expensive because they're in foreign lands, they need tighter security. But day-to-day stuff, they normally just have one or two protection officers, even when they're going out on those meet and greets to meet the crowds. It's as simple as that. Everything's recce'd in advance, and that's a reconnaissance, by the way, so you know exactly where you're going, who you're with, all that sort of stuff. But truly, how much does Prince Andrew actually cost? Well, let me tell you how this works out. Because Prince Andrew lives at Royal Lodge within the grounds of Windsor Castle, there are no attributed costs to him on an individual level. The castle itself is protected by the British Metropolitan Police and, of course, the British Army on occasions. So to say that Prince Andrew costs £400,000 a year plus is ridiculous, because as we now know, he hasn't really left the confines of Windsor Castle for perhaps maybe one or two trips. We know he's going to Balmoral, but again, once he's in the confines of the Balmoral estate, that will then come under the security of that. So it's really just stoking the fire and sort of making out that one gets one and the other doesn't. Now, the point of this journalist really is, of course, he has to fill some column inches and make them as dramatic as possible. So you can't really blame him for trying to stoke the fire. But over here on this channel, what I like to present to you is the truth as we find it. Now, we might all not like Prince Andrew or the associations that have been attributed to him, but it is always fair to give the person, the individual, a fair hearing. And that's what I found out for you. So those outlandish claims about exactly how much it costs to look after Prince Andrew on an estate in a castle are far, far beyond absolute imagination. It's simply nowhere near that. As ever, I'm so glad to have cleared this up for you exclusively. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.